Welcome back to the Professional Rough-Stock Toledo Open. We are moments away from the bareback riding, but first, Kelly, let's load the chutes.
I tell you what, we've already talked about JOSI Young earlier, but one of my matchups for the day is Justin McDaniels on a horse called Lovely Lexi. She is just the premier horse what you want to get on the bareback riding. Straight out across there, doesn't really yank on your arm too much, and just gives you all the opportunity in the world to make that solid, aggressive spur ride. Now, another guy to watch that's really exciting is ERIK WOLFORD. He's only about an hour and a half away from his hometown, so he's got a lot of his friends and family in the stands. I know this guy is going to step up and really ride good. The only problem that he's had lately is a little bit of equipment failure. If he can keep his hand in the rigging, I look for him to be one of those top contenders in that Final Four showdown.
And our pickup men tonight are Sean Spaulding and Dale Bogner. First in the chutes tonight is Rusty Stewart of Stella, Missouri. He's in the top 25 of the PRS standings. He's on Hot Tamale from Rawhide Rodeo Company. Here's an International Pro Rodeo Association bareback rider. Been to the IFR in Oklahoma City. He scored an 80 earlier this year in Roanoke on Bay Annie, and he gets to the whistle here on Hot Tamale from Rawhide Rodeo.
I tell you what, that horse right there really bucked coming out of there. You can see it about the second jump, kind of sets him up right about here, mainly because Rusty spurred a little bit high on the neck of that horse. But, I mean, just bared down, was aggressive, and just tried to set his feet every jump, try to beat that horse to the ground, you know, posted a good score. But right there, that's just all try.
77 points to start off the Toledo Open. Now let's go to Blade Elliott. Here's a guy that you know well. He's been working through your goal setting and workout system.
Yes, he's been on the system for about 2 months here. This kid's a hard worker.
He split the win in Roanoke with Josie Young. He is on Matt Dillon from Rawhide Rodeo Company. Reared back, pulling those spurs back to the handle every jump. He makes it to the whistle. Blade Elliott of Livingston, Alabama.
Yeah, we look at this rocky playback. I tell you what, this kid right here, this horse wasn't easy. That horse was droppy, kind of dead in the front end. Made it real difficult to stay up underneath that rigging and set his feet. He made one heck of a ride on a really strong, hard-to-ride horse.
Well, he is number 8 in the professional rough stock season standings. 78.5 for Blade Elliott. He'll take the early lead. Now let's go to ERIK WOLFORD, who can work every event. Barebacks, broncs, and bulls. He's from Clinton, Michigan. Was in only the saddle bronc riding last week in Gonzales, but now he's back in the bareback riding on Big Jake from Rafter H Rodeo Company. Well, here is a guy that is multi-talented.
Oh, you know, one of my favorite things about ERIK is it doesn't matter where he's at in the ride. He could be almost upside down, jump back in the middle, and those feet are always working. He's always going for first. And, you know, when it comes to bareback riding, that's really all you can do is just jump up there and just try your butt off. You know, this kid has got so much natural ability and so much try that he's going to be one of our top contenders, and you know, he's a showman. He's a class act all the way through these events.
77 points for the all-around cowboy out of Michigan. As you can see, Blade Elliott maintains his lead. As we go to the world champion, Justin McDaniel has got the horse everybody wins on, Lovely Lexi from Painted Pony.
I tell you what, this is my pick for the day. I knew with Justin getting on this horse, the way she keeps her head down, the way how deadly he is with his feet, I knew it was just going to be spectacular.
Justin McDaniel, who has the second high score of the season with an 87 in Reading. Is he going to get close to that 87?
You know, the only thing that you can fault him is when he spurs over this horse's neck a few times. And that's just because how nice she was. He was opened up and just gassing it, going for it. He was trying to be 100. I mean, that's what you do. And he just made a few baubles. But I tell you what, 82 points, man, top of the leaderboard. That was a spectacular spur ride.
Well, now to Josie Young. He's ranked number 3 in the point standings out of Idaho. Eddie Munster is the horse he'll try to ride from Rawhide Rodeo. Here's a man who split Roanoke with Blade Elliott.
Young gun, Josie Young. I mean, gets on just about anything and spurs everything. That horse right there, we knew coming in was going to be strong, down the pin, hard to ride. Josie just made a very professional ride on that horse right there.
Take a look at the Rocky Boots replay. You can see a very difficult horse Josie Young was trying to make look a little easier.
Yeah, we call a horse like that, we call long and droppy, you know, strong. It's all big front end. Horses weighing a good 1,200, 1,300 pounds and putting all that pressure on your arm. That was a very solid ride.
All right, we're going to let you step down and go visit the winner. 79 for Josie Young, the winner of this round. Justin McDaniel with that 82. Josie Young, 79. Young now will have qualified for his 4th out of 6 Wrangler Final Four rounds here today. and Blade Elliott finished top 3. By the way, Rusty Stewart is not going to make it in there, even though he tied with Wolford. Back judge had Wolford at the number 4 spot. Kelly?
It's fun to watch a bareback ride that's really controlled, really aggressive with his feet, because after a while that horse will actually start shorten up, we call it, start slowing up and starting to stand in one spot because you're aggressive with your feet and really utilizing that horse the way you're supposed.
Right. You know, you always want to keep that horse picked up and keep her buck and help her as much as you can while you're showing her off too, and thankfully it worked out for me tonight.
Thank you, Kelly. Coming up next, it's time to unleash one of the rankest pins of the Bucking Bulls this year, provided by K-Bar C. Don't go away.